Yeah! Friends, enemies, and those still under review, welcome back. This is Jack. And I am very fortunate today to be able to work with the woman, the myth, the legend, Synthetika Lynn. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I get to hang out with you. That's a win right there. Then I get to play Helldivers later with my siblings.
Okay.
So win across the board. All right. I'm going to be asking you the most important question of this interview. I hope you're ready for it. What's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur? Oh my god, that's like the best question ever. I have a few, but if I had to pick one,
you could choose three. You could choose three or whatever. I don't care.
Okay. Spinosaurus, pterodactyls, and then I really like the ocean dwellers, like the plesiosaur and the mesosaurus. Like those are pretty freaking awesome. They're terrifying and they're awesome. And of course, who doesn't love the T-Rex? I mean, I got a T-Rex tattooed on me, but
I think that's the best answer I've gotten so far with it, because the majority of people either default to the Velociraptor, not knowing Velociraptors are not like they are in Jurassic Park. The Utah Raptor's the closest, or they say T-Rex because once again. So like that's probably the best answer I've gotten in a long time with that one. Mine's the Triceratops, but my reason is because of Power Rangers.
I mean, the Triceratops is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyway, I felt that was the most appropriate first question because everybody needs to talk about their favorite dinosaur.
I know, right? We don't get that question asked enough. And, like, it's important.
Oh, yeah. It's very important. Now, let's move into the actual subjects of stuff. I wanted to talk about PEDs first, or performance-enhancing drugs first. And the reason why I think you'll agree, but first I'm going to ask the obvious question I know the answer to is, you're a professional bodybuilder. I'm going to use the word professional. You can't argue with me on that one. And I would describe you as a fitness model and a cosplayer. So are you, do you use performance-enhancing drugs? Are you natural or not?
I am not natural. I do use performance-enhancing drugs. I started, I think, it was like March of 2023. So this will be the second year of me doing cycles. I haven't done anything too crazy, you know, like trenbolone, which is like, oh my God, that's like one of those drugs that, yeah, it'll blow you up real fast, but it's got some of the nastiest side effects ever, including roid rage.
Not to mention like the skin outbreak I've seen a lot of.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something I will stay away from. I'm not, you know, I don't really want to do anything too crazy, but yeah, I decided to do that a couple years ago because I decided to officially start bodybuilding. And I wanted to go past my natural limits, and, you know, pretty much that's the only way you can do it. And I am going to be honest about it because I feel like in the fitness industry, you know, about like 95, 97% of people in the fitness industry are on something or have taken something, but they're not honest about it. And then it just creates like this whole
Liver King.
Like,
sorry, I had a cough there.
That's okay.
You didn't hear the Liver King part just to make sure that got out there?
Oh my God, that guy, he's still going at it too. I don't understand. Like, give it up already, man.
You got busted. Yeah, you're done. You're done, son.
Right, and he's still like trying, and yeah, whatever. I don't want to talk about him.
You're fine. So my personal stance on it, and we just agreed on it without me having to bring it up. I don't care if you're on performance-enhancing drugs. I really don't care. It's your body, your choice. Now, is there an extreme that I personally don't find appealing? Yes, but my opinion doesn't matter. It's your body. Like, I'm not going to knock someone like, because it's even though if you're on it, it still takes a lot of work. I'm not going to knock someone like Amazonica as an example. She's like an extreme version of it. I don't know if you know who she is.
No.
She honestly, if I had to describe her, she looks like somebody took the prompt, make this woman into and take her to the maximum muscle like you see in comic books and stuff, and they do that. That's where she's at. If you ever want to see like the insanity of it, look her up. Mind you, she does do adult material, but that's not why I'm bringing her up. It's just she is probably and I tend to follow female bodybuilders anyway, and I'll explain that one later. but once again, but she's open about it. I don't care if you do it, and for the same reasons. If you do it and you're lying, like, I'm going to call this person out. I feel Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he uses it, but he's like, oh no, I take all this. And they're like, no, you do. You're as old as you are, and you're built the way you are. There is no way.
Absolutely. Fully, totally agree with you. And yeah, for the most part, nobody cares. People just want you to be honest because it's damaging to a lot of people, especially younger people, when you try to sell a product or I don't know, just whatever, when you're lying, it's very damaging because it makes people, they'll look at you and be like, okay, well, I'm going to take this supplement, like this, that they're trying to sell or do this or whatever. And I'll get super muscular and super fit like that. And then when it doesn't happen, then they give up and think, well, is there something wrong with me? Like, why can't I do this? And I'm going to be honest with you. I was in that boat at one point. In the very beginning, I was. I followed a lot of, a lot of women who are like fucking super big and bulky and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so awesome. I want that. And as a woman, you can build some pretty awesome muscle, but it only goes so far because of hormones. So the way our muscle lays, it looks a little different than versus men.
Not to mention storage of fat is different and requirements of fat are located differently.
Exactly. So when you see a lot of these women that are, and men too, you can be big and strong, you can be lean and strong. You can't be big, strong, and lean without like taking something.
Or at least not year round, because you can do a temporary cutting phase for like performance, but you're not going to be that way year round.
Right. It's not sustainable. So yeah, it's just, there was a time where I was just like, my main goal was just getting started because for a while I had tried to do the weightlifting thing, but I wasn't very consistent with it.
I'm in that stage again.
Yeah, it takes the consistency. But back in 2020, where I think a lot of us had a lot of
downtime.
And
we'll
stuff
say downtime.
So I went through a really, really bad depressive episode. It lasted for 3 months. It was awful. I've never felt anything quite like that in my life. And I was picking myself apart inside and out. I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, ew, gross, ugly, lame, loser. And so eventually I was just like, I'm tired of feeling this way. So I want to try and start working out again. And I want to be consistent with it. So the first thing I did was I just found like a 10-minute ab video on YouTube. And I started doing that. And I started doing that every day. Just the 10-minute abs. I didn't do anything else. It was just that to get started. And I did that every day. And within a month, I started really seeing some results. And I'm like, wow, I've never seen like any sort of ab definition in my body ever. This is really awesome. So it made me want to keep going. And then I started adding on arms and legs and all that stuff. And I became really, really consistent with it. And it helped me get my mind off of feeling so horrible and depressed. So I kept on doing it. And I just loved the feeling. And it releases those positive endorphins. So, it boosts your mood and everything. Of course, I do have days where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything at all. I just want to, sit on the couch and be lazy. But those are the days that count the most because you're not always going to feel motivated. It's discipline mostly. But
discipline is a muscle as well. It got me out of
like a really bad spot. I'm sorry?
I said discipline is also a muscle, so you have to train it up. So.
Right, exactly. So yeah, those that's pretty much how I got started. And then because when I first started, I was a little bit chubby, just a little bit, so I had to cut. And then once I dropped the fat, I got to be really skinny, like really lanky. And but I was putting on some muscle, and it was like I was really like, wow. But yeah, I was in that position where I was just kind of like, I hope I can, get like this, like super strong and like super bulky and everything. And it just kind of came to the point where I don't know if I could, like, this isn't really seeming like it's happening, because I would see these other women who would start off and they look like me. And then suddenly within like a few months, they look completely different. Like they just put on so much muscle in such a short amount of time. And I used to think, how come that's not happening to me? I used to think, well, is it because I don't have a personal trainer? I was doing everything through YouTube. I was pretty much just kind of training myself for a while. So at first I was like, is it because I don't have a personal trainer? Do I need a personal trainer? So that wasn't it. It was the gym candy. And I kept hearing about, PEDs, mostly anabolic steroids. And I decided to, not because I was interested in trying them. I was always just like, ooh, I don't know about that. That sounds really scary. I'm too scared. But I was really interested in what are they exactly, and what do they do? Like, how do they work? So I started researching them, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to like see what this is all about. So again, I did like a year's worth of research before deciding, because that's not something that you just decide, hey, I'm going to do this, and you don't do any sort of research, because that's how you mess yourself really bad in the long run. So I eventually got to talking to other people that have had experience with it, and I asked, got advice from them, asked them their experiences with it, how, what I should do, how to start. And people always recommend that you do training for at least like 2-3 years before you hop on anything. And that's what I did. I trained for a few years before hopping on anything. And I started with Anavar, which is the more, it's the girl steroid, or, it's very popular among women because of its anabolic effects, but it's not quite so androgenic. So the masculinization, like deepening of the voice, facial hair, things like that can happen, but it's a lot less than some of the other drugs. So that's what I did. I have tried a few other things. Right now I am running a Turinabol cycle, which is very similar to Anavar in terms of, how it kind of works. It works a little bit different. Obviously, they're not the same exact drug, but they work very similarly. Yep. And I like it. I mean, I'm fine. And one of the things you have to do is you really have to take care of your health. I mean, you should always take care of your health, but you really, really, really need to take care of your health when you're doing something like this. You need to go get your blood pressure checked. You need to get blood work done. Get your liver enzymes checked. Kidneys, cholesterol, all that stuff. Because if it's not in check, then yeah, eventually. And I'm not sitting here saying, I'm not trying to glorify it, and I'm not sitting here trying to say, oh, it's safe, it's 100% safe. It's not. But you can mitigate a lot of the side effects if you are smart and you've done a lot of research and you try to take care of yourself as best as you can while you do it.
I think you nailed a lot of the things I want to say. Disclaimer, of course, none of us are medical professionals or professional trainers. I don't think you have a cert or anything. Yes. We're talking from our experience and our own personal research. So take it with a grain of salt. Just clearing that up for anybody who's like a legal head. Now, because I will fully admit, I at one point considered it myself, and what talked me out of it, I think, is also part of like why you should work out for 3 years before you do it, is because it builds up that discipline to actually work out. Because if you take it and don't work out, you're getting all the negatives but none of the benefits. So there you go. As someone like me, whose bipolarism throws me all over the place, I don't sleep consistently, it's not a good idea for me to do it, and I almost did. I literally was in the conversation to do it, and I'm like, never mind. I talked myself out of it. Not to mention, this is the other thing I want to throw out there is, I think his name is Doug. I can't pronounce his last name. He has a really high alto voice, and he's very open that he did use steroids for a long time. But anyway, he did a good video that explained, don't tell yourself, I'm going to do one cycle and then I'm done, because you're going to get addicted to those gains, and you're going to do it again. So don't, like, if you're telling yourself, I'm only going to do one cycle, either commit that you're going to do it again, or don't do it. Don't try to convince yourself you're going to do it once.
It's true, because I'm going to be honest, I said that. I said that. And I'm still here. And here I am. So yeah, it is something that once you see those gains, you do kind of become addicted to the gains.
Yep.
So yeah, that's not something, I'm not trying to glorify it.
No, that's one of the reasons I respect you so much. You're open about it, but you're not like, you don't like I'm only like this because I take it. So, because you've built up the discipline even before that. You both look amazing now, and you looked amazing then too. So it's not like you haven't put in the effort. So, like, and once again, your body, your choice, all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I do want to answer something I brought up myself earlier. If anybody is ever wondering why I usually talk about female bodybuilders, is I feel that female bodybuilders have to go through a lot more. Not only are they fighting, I'm going to say genetics and hormones a lot more, they're fighting societal pressure a lot more. And that makes my things I'm fighting, my mental health and all that stuff, feel a lot more trivial. So it helps me push through. Not to mention, if I'm being brutally honest, I'd much rather look at a picture of a woman than a picture of a guy. If I'm being brutally honest, I'm a cis white guy. I'm going to be honest. Yeah!